Do you know what? I knew this was going to happen. The moment Hans Zimmer's score for Dune Part 2 was disqualified by the Academy, I knew it was over. Like, Denis, mon ami, they robbed you. That was still the best moment of last year in film. It was just incredible. So the Oscar nominations for the Oscar show of 2025 has come out. You know, 2024 in film. It's kind of confusing how like the Oscars is like a year ahead. It's confusing. But anyways, the list of nominations came out and Dune Part 2 got 5 nominations. All technical. 5.
What a heavy load Einstein must have had. Fucking morons everywhere.
For the movie that was being heralded by critics as one of the best films of the 21st century, one of the best sci-fi films ever made, 5 nominations. What? And honestly, it's just ridiculous. Like, this is like really triggering me. Like, the Academy Awards, in my eyes, throughout the years, have just become kind of like a joke. Like, the moment Brendan Fraser won his pity win for The Whale instead of Austin Butler winning for Best Actor for Elvis, I knew the Academy was a joke. Like, are you serious? Like, don't get me wrong, Brendan Fraser delivered a very good performance in The Whale, but like, that movie is awful, and like, compared to the amount of work Austin Butler did for Elvis, like, I'm so baffled. You know, this is also the same Academy that gave Jamie Lee Curtis a Best Supporting Actress win, not even nomination, a win for her role in Everything Everywhere All at Once. Like, what are we doing here? Like, don't get me wrong, she is perfectly fine in Everything Everywhere All at Once. But in no shape or form is that performance Oscar-worthy.
Jamie Lee, you are
none. And currently what makes it worse is the 5 nominations Dune Part 2 has gotten for the 2025 awards season. Like, they're all technical awards, and the one that really annoys me the most, right, is the fact that mon ami Denis Villeneuve delivered a phenomenal film, and the Academy Awards have nominated it for Best Picture, but they snubbed him for Best Director. Like, make that make sense. Hey, yeah, we really love your film, but we're not gonna nominate you. What are you talking about? It's the director's film. The director has the vision. The vision comes from his brain. All the stuff you loved about Dune Part 2 that made you nominated for Best Picture, he came up with it. Obviously, you know, he had collaborators and he worked with Greg Fraser to refine the cinematography and such and all that kind of stuff. But like, you know what I mean? He's the captain of the ship. The stuff you loved in that movie came from his brain. It came from his decision making and his delegation to create the Best Picture of the year.
I'm pointing the way!
God, this is such a joke. This is actually, like, ridiculous. And speaking of ridiculous, let's talk about Hans Zimmer's score being disqualified by the Academy. Now, this news is, like, kind of old, but now it's kind of relevant because, obviously, the Oscar season is in full swing. But, like, the moment his score got disqualified, I was like, what are you talking about? Like, the main reason they said his score was disqualified was because it used too many themes from the first film. Of course it would. It's a sequel. Not to mention too, the motifs and themes are the same, but the orchestration of it is different. Not to mention too, like, yeah, there are like 1 or 2 tracks that he's reused. Like at the beginning of the film, he reuses the Holy War leitmotif. He uses the Kwisatz Haderach leitmotif, you know, the I'm not denying that there are like themes that are very similar to the first film, but like, he reorchestrates it completely. Like, yes, there are elements of Leaving Caladan in the Dune Part 2 score, but in the Arrival track, he reorchestrates it to make it darker and more ominous. When Paul is walking through the desert, it's like a combination of Leaving Caladan mixed in with the Harkonnen theme. It is the blending together, the homogenization of Paul Atreides taking a darker turn. As he puts it, so that's how we'll survive, by being Harkonnen. And then not to mention too, all the new melodies and leitmotifs, like A Time of Quiet Between the Storms is one of the best written love themes in all of cinema. It is incredible, it is beautiful, it is tragic, the way Hans Zimmer reorchestrates it. When Paul and Chani first kiss, it is beautiful. When Paul and Chani like break up and then obviously the track Kiss the Ring plays, mwah, incredible, it is wonderful. And you're not going to nominate that because, 1 or 2 tracks sound very similar to the first one. But then again, too, the music side of the Academy is a joke because they didn't even nominate Atticus Ross and Trent Reznor's score for challenges. Like, what are you doing? Like, if Dune Part 2 wasn't gonna, you know, win, at least challenges. Like, what are we doing here? The challenger score is phenomenal. And this is actually like ridiculous. Like, what are we doing here? How is The Time of Quiet Between the Storms not being nominated? And it's not just one track. Obviously, it's like Kiss the Ring and the Fade Ralph Arena scene, you know, honestly, it's genuinely baffling. Like, I knew for a fact that this film wasn't going to get any acting nominations, even though it should. Like, I'm sorry, I haven't seen A Complete Unknown yet, but Timothée Chalamet, in my eyes, got nominated for the wrong thing. He should have been nominated for Paul Atreides in Dune Part 2. Like, that War Council scene is phenomenal.
You think I'm stupid enough to deprive myself of the best of us?
It is one of the best directed scenes of last year. The atmosphere is chilling in the cinema. You could feel the audience being swayed by Paul Atreides when Paul Atreides, you know, turns and goes, I'm pointing the way, and goes full on like Jacobta and is like doing the whole speech. I'm not going to do the speech because I know most of it, but you know what? I'm not going to do it. But I mean, that whole scene where he's walking around the Fremen War Council and he's just like taking control and he's like belittling them. And in many ways, he's asserting his dominance over them. He's like, oh yeah, I am the Lisan al-Gaib. You will follow me. I will lead you to paradise. And Javier Bardem's performance in that scene too, like, again, him being snubbed for Best Supporting Actor, like, that scene is incredible. It resonated with audiences. You know, think of all the Dune Part 2 edits you saw on like TikTok or Instagram. Like, everyone loved it, right? Everyone was like, this is one of the best scenes ever. It is incredible. And the thing about that scene is that it does exactly what Frank Herbert wants you to do. Frank Herbert wants you to buy into the fact that Paul Atreides is a dangerous, charismatic leader. And his charisma won over audiences. And so when Dune Messiah comes out and they adapt the story of Dune Messiah and we see Emperor Paul Muad'Dib Atreides and his atrocities, the audience is going to flip. They're going to be like, oh no, I was cheering for the wrong guy. And the way Denis Villeneuve executed that scene is incredible. You buy into the religious fanaticism. You are being swayed by Paul, but also too, there is a double meaning with this scene. It is so, you know, twisted. You are watching a group of people being swayed by a white savior. White savior. If you know Dune, you know what I'm talking about. Timothée Chalamet just goes for it in that scene. You are swayed by it. Javier Bardem's reaction when he's like, listen, I'll go, you buy it. Like, there is so much raw emotional power in that scene, and the fact that this film only is nominated for like Best Picture and a few technical stuff, so ridiculous. Like, this film should have gotten acting nominations. Like, I'm serious. Like, Javier Bardem and Austin Butler should have gotten Best Supporting Actor nominations because Javier Bardem does a very beautiful balance of being comedic but also, like, incredibly tragic and dramatic. And when Denis Villeneuve adapts to Messiah, the tragedy is going to be really emphasized and really highlighted, and it's going to be beautiful. And Austin Butler is just incredible in Dune Part 2. Like, literally, the dude does so much with so little. Like, when Paul kills the Baron in that scene, the look on his face is like, oh, he killed my uncle. I hate this guy. But also, he killed my uncle. I am now, you know, the Baron of Giedi Prime. But also, too, that was kind of hot. Like, he does so much with so little in that film. And the fact that he wasn't nominated is just... Again, what are we doing here? The Academy, what are we doing here? Rebecca Ferguson should have gotten a Best Supporting Actress nomination because she was incredible in Dune Part 2. She was so ominous and scary and creepy and just wonderful. Also, I still just can't get over the fact of how you think that Dune Part 2 deserves a Best Picture nomination, but you won't nominate the guy whose vision the film came from. What are we doing here? Like, seriously. Also, why have films like Emilia Perez got so many Oscar nominations? Like, I've barely heard of Emilia Perez, and the clips I've seen from it on Twitter, the film doesn't look good. 13 nominations for a mediocre-looking musical. What are we doing here? Like, even Wicked. I liked Wicked, don't get me wrong, okay? Wicked was a good film. It was very entertaining. I saw it twice. When I see a film multiple times in the cinema, it means I liked it. Wicked is good. One short day in the Emerald City. However, in no way, shape, or form is that film Oscar-worthy. Is it because it's related to The Wizard of Oz or something, and so the Academy felt, like, obliged to nominate it? Because why is it nominated? They barely nominated West Side Story when that came out, and that film was incredible. That was the best film of 2021, and it only got, like, a handful of nominations. Denis, mon ami, I am so sorry. I love you so much, and I love the film you made. I am so grateful for the film you made, and just... They really, really robbed you, man. I love you, Denis. Put me in Dune Messiah.
Lead them to paradise.
rant on why Dune Part 2 got incredibly snubbed. Like, what the hell, Academy? This is why I'm starting to really just not put a lot of stock in the Oscars. Like, what are we doing here? Like, what? But yeah, those are my thoughts on Dune Part 2 being snubbed by the Academy. What do you guys think about Dune Part 2 being snubbed? Let me know in the comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe, follow me on social media, all that good stuff. I don't even have my Chris knife on me. Hold on 1 second. Till we meet again, I'll see you guys next time. Anna bless.